Guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Advika and this is the second episode of one of my favorite series, Book Talks with Advika. I read some of the most popular books on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, books that people cannot stop talking about and everyone will be recommending them to you. And today I'm gonna give you guys my very honest review about those books and find out if these books are overhyped, appropriately hyped or underhyped. If you're someone who likes to read and you're just trying to find a new book, or you're someone who's trying to start to read and really wants 2025 to be their reading year, then you've came to the right video. I'm going to be sharing some really good books in this video, so let's get started. The first book that we're going to be talking about is Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I gave this book 3.75 to about 4 stars. Before I dive into what this book is about, if you're someone who wants to read a book before a movie about it comes out, then this is the right one for you. Housemaid is being turned into a movie and it's going to be releasing very soon. This is a mystery thriller. It's super fast paced and literally a page turner. So our protagonist Millie is a homeless girl who's trying to find a job. Then she finds the Winchester family who are looking for a maid. So she gets hired and is super excited to start working. But as soon as she joins, she realizes some very weird things about this house and this family, and she's not sure if she'll get out alive. Dun dun dun! This book was addicting. I was literally on a road trip while reading this. I could not keep this book down, even on the hills, like you can imagine. That's how good it is. And the plot twist, it's good enough that I couldn't guess it even when I was trying to guess, and the twist was actually good. Two things that I wish were different in this is that I really wish there was more of a backstory to Millie's life and who she really was. Like, there was not much depth to it, but regardless of that, I absolutely loved it. Also recommended to my best friend and she also read it and we both couldn't stop talking about the plot twist. There are many more parts of this but I haven't read them, but honestly can't wait to read more from Frida McFadden. I'm gonna say this book is appropriately hyped. Okay, next I'm gonna be talking about one of the most popular fantasy series, the Folk of the Air series. It is a trilogy, but I only have the last part of the book. The rest of them I read on my Kindle. First book is called The Cruel Prince. The second one is called The Wicked King, and the third one is called The Queen of Nothing. Okay, my individual ratings for The Cruel Prince is 3.75 stars. For Wicked King, it is 3.5 stars. For Queen of Nothing, it is 4 stars. The series is written by Holly Black, and I feel like I picked this up because I heard everywhere that it is a romantasy book. I mean, at least I did not feel the romance at all in this. It's more of a fantasy book. I think fantasy would be the right genre to keep this in. Story is about 3 sisters, Jude, Vivian and Taryn. They began in their life in a mortal world. Soon after the death of their parents, they were forced to shift into a whole new world, which is the world of fairies. And no, these are not fairies like these. It's this. Okay, so the first book, The Cruel Prince, has more of the world building, which, if I'm being very honest, as someone who got into reading, I didn't find it that easy to understand, but it slowly grew on me. And after, like, I think at the end of the first book and the second and the third book were like super easy to read, but the first book, it took me some time, and thanks to the concept of audiobook, I'm not even kidding, if there wasn't an audiobook for this, I would have probably DNF'd it. There was also a lot of politics in this book, which surprisingly I enjoyed. If someone didn't tell me this before, I would have probably not picked this book up thinking that it's about politics, and I'm not interested in that. I think it's very safe to say that the politics is what made this book even more interesting. Now coming to romance, it does have a slight plot of enemies to lovers, and I did feel the enemies part a lot, not gonna lie. Like, the enemies, the hate was there. The love, I don't know, it just couldn't feel that real. Probably, I don't want to give spoilers, but yeah. Regardless of me not feeling the romance that much, I absolutely loved the series and enjoyed it, and I'm not gonna regret it. But it's also a series that I don't have engraved in my brain, so that's why I gave this whole series 3.75 stars. And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say it's a little overhyped. So now that you know that my favorite genre is romantasy, my favorite romantasy book is Powerless. It's by Lauren Roberts, and I talked about this book in my last Book Talks with Advika video, so you can go check that out there. Right now I'm going to be talking about the part 2 of this book, which is called Reckless. Akshat actually got this book for me on the day it was released. I was like, if it's releasing, I'm not going to get it on the day it's released. There's no chance that we can go out and get it and all. Then Akshay surprised me with this and I was like, oh my god, this is like the greenest flag thing ever. Can't be enough grateful for this, but yeah. Anyway, so this is the part 2 and it did not disappoint. There are a lot of mixed reviews about this on the internet. Some people like it and some people absolutely hated it. Even me and my best friend actually read this and he did not like it as much, but me, if you ask me, I absolutely loved it. I'm not going to give you guys a lot of spoilers, but basically after the first book was finished, it literally left us on the biggest cliffhanger ever. Our female main character Payden is actually running from our male main character Kai. I'm just so in love with Payden and Kai that even in the scenes when they're trying to murder each other, I'm giggling and I'm like laughing and smiling and literally kicking my feet in the air. The reason why I think a lot of people did not like it is because there's not a lot of world building. Like, the fantasy part is not that heavy in this. It is definitely very, very romance heavy, but I don't mind it. I don't mind some romance. The banter between the characters is just chef's kiss. I have not felt a banter and attention like these two characters have with each other. Why am I blushing right now? I don't know, I'm sorry. Okay, so I actually wrote down quote, "Tell me you hate me and I'll still count every heartbeat, every freckle, every shiver of your body if only you say it with a smile." Oh god, oh my god. And even though there isn't a lot of plot to the book, author Lauren actually said that the final book, which is Fearless, that book is probably going to make up for the plot that was missing in this book. I give this book 4 stars and I'm going to say it's a little underhyped to appropriately hyped. The next book, oh my god, this book, it's called Palace of Illusion. This book is a Mahabharata but from a woman's perspective, and that woman being Draupadi, that is Panchali herself. When I got to know that this is what the book is about, I instantly picked this book up because I love the Mahabharata, and even though I watched it on TV when I was like, I think in middle school, I do think that Mahabharata literally shaped me into the person that I am today. Mahabharata itself is one of the greatest things that have ever been written. So yeah, this book, I definitely needed to pick this up. It definitely did not disappoint me. I did not know like the very deep parts of Mahabharata, and getting to know about them from this book was amazing. It made me understand a lot of things which when I was watching the show I was like, ye kyun ho raha hai, ye kya hua, ye kaun hai. And other than that, a very controversial plot sided. I'm like honestly still shocked that no one has talked about, no one is like raising their voices against it. But this book is gonna be adapted into a movie very soon. It has a lot of emotions. It's very thought provoking. As a human being, you'll just actually think about a lot of things that you would think कि मैंने पहले क्यों नहीं सोचा जब मैंने महाभारत देखी हुई है और मुझे इतनी पसंद भी है. I'm gonna give this book 4.5 stars. 0.5 because I'm gonna say it's very slow paced. As someone who has a very small attention span and wants like every page to be a page turner, this was definitely not that. Also because I knew like what's gonna happen. I knew who's gonna win the war. I know some of you all might be thinking, किसी book को 5 stars नहीं मिला है क्या? The reason why I try to give anything in my life, especially books, less stars as much as I can. I want कि there's always a possibility of more. Like if I really enjoyed a book, I feel like there has to be a book that I will enjoy more than this. और अगर मैंने इसको 5 stars दे दिया तो मैं उसको क्या दूंगी? But there is always an exception, and that exception is better than the movies. I gave this book 5 stars. Also, the second part that recently came out, it's called Nothing Like the Movies, and I gave this book 4 to 4.5 stars. I'll tell you why I gave it 5 stars first, and then we'll move on to the story of it. First things first, this was my first ever young adult romance book, and I was a strong believer that I'm not gonna like a young adult romance because I'm an adult. Why would I like something which is like made for teens? That is what I thought. But this book broke my belief and it got me into reading more young adult romances. That's why I gave this 5 stars. It's literally everything you would want in a book. I'm so happy. I'm so damn happy that I picked this up. Lynn Painter, who is the author. I feel like her surname is just so appropriate because she really paints a whole world inside your brain. You will be able to visualize everything that is happening. Like for me, every part that I read, I try to visualize it, and this book made it so easy for me to visualize and to feel it. These books literally have a playlist inside them. Even like during the chapters and like while you're reading it, the characters would let you know what song they're listening to or what's going in their head, and I used to play it while reading, and it literally made the experience a whole lot better. Okay, so our main character Liz is a hopeless romantic, and after a very long time her childhood crush appeared back into her life, and she cannot wait to start her perfect love story with him. And for that she actually needs the help of her crush's friend. His name is Wes. The twist is that Wes is actually Liz's childhood enemy. They both hate each other. You guys might have guessed it, it's the perfect enemies to lovers. This book is also the book that made me realize that I am so much into enemies to lovers. It is my favorite trope. The feelings of a high school kid is so rightly encaptured in this. Second book. In this book, both of the characters move to college. So our main characters move from high school now to a college. I don't want to give spoilers, but let's say that they were not off to a great start. However, this book I feel has a lot of more depth to Wes' character. Like the first book was all about Liz and what she is like, her story. This book has a dual point of view which the first book did not have. So this book we get the point of view of Wes as well as Liz. So I give this book 4 stars. The verdict on these books, I'll say these books are definitely appropriately hyped. Okay, now moving on to our last book. This is Funny Story. It's again a of romance, but I think this one's more of like an adult romance. If you guys are not into reading, or if you guys don't know, Emily Henry is such a well-known author. Whenever I watch book reviews or anything, I hear this author's name every time. Emily Henry, Emily Henry, Emily Henry. And this was my first ever book from Emily Henry. I understand, like, the writing was definitely really good, very easy to understand. However, the plot, so I'm just gonna explain the plot and let you guys decide if you want to pick this book up or not. I gave this book 3.5 stars. Main characters Daphne and Miles both have gone through a very recent breakup, involves both of them. Like, it's a little complicated story. I personally thought that the characters have gone through so much. I would have preferred it about being their individual stories, healing and moving on. That's just a personal opinion and preference, but other than that, this book is strangers to friends to lovers. Good things about this book is the character building. I'm sure that Emily Henry has written better books, and I honestly want to pick them up as well. This book for me, I'm gonna say it's overhyped. And yeah, with that we come to the end of this video. Puri raat ho gayi film karte karte. You guys literally saw the sunset with me. How cute is that? I love that. I actually love talking about books with people. Like, it's one of my little hobbies. Have to tell me your book recommendations in the comments, because I cannot wait to read them. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Until then, keep dreaming, keep smiling, and keep achieving.
Ryan
Bye.
Little.